So I'm going to style my mannequin with some of my very favorite thrifted finds from my time spent in Vancouver, and also share a few updates and chat about what I learned in this beautiful city, some of the takeaways. I really experienced a lot of growth in the time that I spent here. If you haven't been to Vancouver, 10 out of 10 recommend. It's a perfect combination of nature and city, mountains and ocean. It really has everything. And I met some really wonderful, incredible people that I sincerely hope stay long term friends of mine. And I wanted to talk through the takeaways that I had in the time of being here, feeling situated. This is the longest stretch I've spent in one location for almost 18 months now. I've had an incredible shift in life. I've been, for lack of a better term, nomadic. Without a home base. I put all of my things in storage in January 2025 if you are new to this space. And so I've been really looking for where I could find myself a new, fresh start, somewhere I could call home in a more permanent capacity. And I genuinely thought this could possibly be Vancouver. Ultimately, life had a different plan for me, and I have now situated in my new location, and I'm feeling really comfortable here. Vancouver was exactly what I needed for the time that I was there. The sense of stability and security that it provided me with was so important in this stage of my healing process. And I really genuinely believe that a big part of that was from my hobby of thrifting. I hadn't had enough space to be able to actually decorate or buy cute things and fill my wardrobe in a bit more of a eclectic and intentional way. And so in Vancouver, I was really able to do that and tap into some of my creativity around fashion, which really just hasn't been a top priority in my life for a little while because of all of the shifts and navigation. This bag is one of my favorites. It's an Italian leather bag I thrifted. It did come with me. It's in my closet right now. But I really feel like the practice of collecting these things, even though ultimately I did have to say goodbye to quite a bit of it when I got ready to board my flight. I'm going to share a little bit more about where all these things landed at the end of this vlog. But I really enjoyed this practice. This scarf is another favorite. It did not make its way with me, but hopefully someone has their hands on it and they're enjoying it. I really want to break down my overview of my time. So I arrived in Vancouver in September, and I always take a plane selfie when I arrive in a new destination because it gives me a little sense of where I'm at when I first arrive somewhere versus where I'm at when I leave. And I like tracking even the physical changes and shifts I notice and observe. This has been a little bit of a ritual around this lifestyle and how I find just some contemplation and reflection in how places impact me on a personal level, a spiritual level. There's just so much that happens when you're trying out a new location and you're learning a different culture or meeting new people. A lot of change happens in a really short amount of time. And I've observed this every single time I've explored somewhere new. So after I got into Vancouver, I unpacked, got situated. I actually have a vlog that I'll share probably in two parts because it's a little bit long, but it's a video I recorded back in September, and I'm unpacking all the things that I brought with me. And I thought that might be kind of a fun one to share because it really does blow my mind where my head was at. And especially now in reflection, it's April as I'm recording this and listening to myself in that video. I feel so much compassion and so much love for that version of me. And I also feel a lot of pride in the amount of healing and growth that I've navigated, even since sitting and sharing in that space. I have expanded a lot. And I will say that that is one of the biggest gifts, one of the silver linings that comes from a lot of challenge in a short amount of time. And although I never expected my life to shift in all the ways that it has and take as many turns on my path as have been very prevalent in the last 2 years or so, I also at the same time, I really couldn't imagine it any other way. I feel like I've just become such a more well-rounded version of myself. And one of the things I always loved was fashion, and I really kind of got away from that a lot. I've talked about that before, but the more I'm stepping into my whole self, my authentic self, the more I find passion in accessorizing with a colorful scarf and a cute crossbody and just trying out different looks and trusting myself to explore my creativity in this way. That was absolutely something that Vancouver unlocked for me. I really embraced creativity in another level that, again, I hadn't had the opportunity to explore as much, because when you are nomadic, there is not as much access to even establishing hobbies. It really takes a lot of an intention, because most hobbies require a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things that come with hobbies. And for me, I haven't really had the space to lug things around with me. While I was in Vancouver, I was able to actually establish that for myself a little bit more and buy tools and things that could help me practice. One of my very first favorite moments was taking the ferry from the mainland to Vancouver Island for the first time. It felt like I was a little kid. I felt like I was running from one end of the boat to the other, and the views from every direction were just incredible, absolutely stunning. Vancouver Island is huge. I had no idea how big it is, and I wish I would have had more time to explore. I only spent a weekend. My wonderful host invited me to celebrate Canadian Thanksgiving with her family, and it was really such a great way to kick off my time. It really made me feel just welcome and included. And yeah, it was a really great weekend, but I wish I would have had time to explore more of the island. There's great hiking and beaches, just a more nature focused space than Vancouver, the city itself. And I've heard really great things. So at some point, I would love to go back. I would love to hang out on the island a little bit more and check out some more of the scenic aspects. The mossy green areas were just grounding and comfortable and made me feel so much more connected to myself through this process of reestablishing some sense of stability for myself. The holidays were really interesting. Again, Vancouver is just stunning all of the time, but during the holiday season, there were just beautiful lights and a lot of markets and outdoor spaces that were really dedicated to celebrating the holidays. And I tried my best to lean into embracing that. I spent my first Christmas alone. It was my very first Christmas spent by myself. And truthfully, it was really difficult. It was really a hard stretch in my time here, but I tried my best to embrace it and really learn from even the practice of being alone and understanding that I can still prioritize myself, even if it comes with a little bit of sadness or disappointment, grief. All of those emotions absolutely came up during the holiday season, but I really sat in them and I let them exist, and I took care of myself in the best ways that I knew how. I shared a vlog previously around this. These are another great pair of boots. These did also say goodbye, and I hope found their way into a great home as well. They were just such a good thrift find. But I really took care of myself during the holidays and allowed myself to grieve and feel sad. During this time, a very important chapter of my life also closed. I was granted an order of protection in response to a long list of documented occurrences of unwanted contact from someone in my past. I'm not ready to discuss this, and details of this experience I don't intend to ever share publicly. Even if it's unintentional, harassment in this form is abuse. It's important to me to show up in this space vulnerably and transparently about my journey, and also bring awareness to toxic patterns that I've allowed to play out in my life, even when it's uncomfortable and difficult. When it feels appropriate to support other women around educating themselves on experiences like this, I will share based on my values and the gratitude that I have for the lessons that I've learned. I intend to always and only speak with sensitivity around this and any other traumatic life experiences I've had, because I do very much love so many of the people that it impacts. Speaking of love, I did go on a few dates in Vancouver. I told myself that I would get back out there and I would start putting an effort into meeting new people. And although I didn't meet anyone who I will continue to stay in contact with, I did enjoy the practice of keeping my heart open. It really honestly took dedicated effort, and I will talk a little bit more about this in some of the upcoming content that I'm sharing, including the vlog that I had recorded in September. I mentioned my dating history over the last year and what I've been working through. But I am optimistic as always, and I do genuinely hope that at some point I will meet the right person, and hopefully that person also embraces this adventurous lifestyle that I have been exploring and navigating. Like I mentioned earlier, I genuinely feel like one of my biggest areas of growth over this experience and my time in Vancouver was around my creativity. And that also connects to feminine energy, which I think is really important when it comes to dating. I have been in so much of my masculine energy throughout my life, but even in this lifestyle, being nomadic, there is a lot of decision making that has to happen on a regular basis. And some of that is even related directly to my sense of safety, which also comes from a very masculine, energetic space. And so when I'm feeling unsafe, whether that feeling of lack of safety is valid or maybe more of an emotional response to circumstances and situations, regardless, it still puts me into that masculine mindset. And for me, creativity allows me to lean more into my feminine energy. And for me in Vancouver, I was able to do that through painting. I have always been creative. I'm a hairstylist by trade. And even as a little kid, I was writing and reading, and I just haven't had enough space to give myself the opportunity to lean into that further. But I committed to that in Vancouver and spent a good amount of time alone. So in the time that I was by myself, I really leaned into finding hobbies and investing in hobbies, buying supplies and canvases and paintbrushes and the opportunity to learn. I have never even taken any sort of formal art training or classes. I've done fun little events here and there, but I really wanted to embrace this side of myself in a bigger capacity, and I did. I did that. And before I left, I was able to frame my 2 paintings that I completed, and I donated those as well. I'm going to talk about that in the end, but I made some donations to a nonprofit that I really feel is impacting women in a big way, especially women who are rebuilding, starting over. And I would love for my art to go to someone who, another favorite find. This vest was such a good find. I wore it probably every day. But I would love for my art to be put into the hands of women who need a little bit of hope and optimism in their own journey, their own process, because I know I've went through a lot of dark days, and I want to be able to give someone else the feeling of potential that exists in any new experience, new beginning. And art definitely allows me an outlet of sharing those intentions and putting those into physical form. One of my favorite moments outside in a park right in downtown Vancouver, and I was meditating. I put my pods in, and I was doing a meditation, and I just really felt a lot of appreciation again for my time and the people that I had met and connected with. And out of the corner of my eye, I noticed a woman really intently watching me. It actually made me quite uncomfortable. For a moment, I even felt a little bit of paranoia. I couldn't figure out why she was looking at me so intently. And it was really eye-opening because eventually she approached me and she shared a sketch she had drawn of me, and then complimented me and told me that I just looked so peaceful and so beautiful. And I really couldn't believe it. This vest was a really good one. It's actually an equestrian vest. It was just such a high quality piece of clothing. I loved it. But I really realized like how quickly I put her in a category of someone who is harmful versus someone who was actually doing just such a kind thing, like with such a nice gesture, creating this sketch of me that really she didn't need to do at all. And I reflected on that for probably weeks, honestly. I didn't love that my first inclination was fear-based. And it really made me anchor into the importance of creating safety for myself internally. We are in control of our internal dialogue. And that came up for me a lot in that moment because my internal dialogue was communicating a sense of fear that she was somebody doing something suspicious or had ill intent in some way. And that's not who I am. I see the best in everyone. It's almost been a fault in scenarios past, but I genuinely don't want to lose that part of me no matter what I navigate or what I experience. I want to see the best in everyone. I want to see the best in the world. And I will hold on to that sketch forever because it meant so much to me. It actually lives on my vision board now. A last little favorite moment was my time in Whistler. I actually wore these boots up to Whistler. Whistler is so stunning, and I got to spend the day with a very good friend of mine and a group of friends. We just had an incredible day. We had an instructor with us for the day. 10 out of 10 would recommend. It was so much fun. And yeah, I got to see the cherry blossoms, very well-known aspect of Vancouver life. In the very last stretch of my time in Vancouver, a new friend of mine who is a personal stylist professionally had reserved a booth at a pop up shop and invited me to come and put some of my items up for sale. I did not sell much, if I'm very transparent, but the practice alone of this experience really gave me the fire I needed to be able to execute on an idea that has lived in my head for quite some time. I am very excited to introduce Common Threads. I intend to continue to expand on this give back aspect to my business, Commonwealth Collective, by using the hobby that I love so much, thrifting in different cities, wherever I go on my travels, but be able to turn around and either sell those items and donate proceeds to a nonprofit that is also helping women rebuild, and donate the items that I'm unable to sell. So at that pop-up market, I sold one pair of jeans, which some might consider a bit of an epic failure. I put a lot of effort and energy into that pop-up market. However, the actions alone that helped me create the website and the landing page and outreach to potential partners in the cities that I've been, get all my items organized, even create the cute little price tags that I made. So all of my items that I was not able to sell were passed along to my sister's closet in Vancouver. This is a social enterprise of battered women's support services. And they're advocates of zero waste, eco fashion, and even the thrifting movement. So I, of course, right away connected with their mission. And 100% of the revenue generated from their sales fund violence prevention and intervention services and programs that are operated by BWSS. So I am very honored and grateful to be in partnership with them and to be able to start moving towards positive impact from really difficult experiences. I am and will hopefully always continue to be the type of person who looks for opportunities to make lemonade out of lemons. And if part of the experiences that I've navigated allow me the opportunity to give back, I'm going to take those opportunities every single time. So I'm really excited to lean into this more. I am going to be inviting the founders of these nonprofits onto my podcast and sharing their story and doing whatever I can to amplify their mission and support them around their cause. And as I continue to travel and explore and, of course, thrift, I will lean into finding more spaces and places and opportunities to help support women in whatever way I can. So thank you so much for listening to this episode. This one really means a lot to me, and I sincerely hope that it gives inspiration and hope, because for all of us, life can be really hard in different chapters, and we only have control over how we respond to those challenges. And I do feel very proud of myself for being able to continue to keep my head above water and focused forward towards how I want to see my life continue to evolve and shift and change, and how I as a person want to continue to grow and expand. And I really feel that Vancouver gave me so much opportunity to do that. So I will catch you next time.